I am a thinker with a very big heart. I used to be so lost, but now I can relate to you. I will save this world, and I promise.
Hey there, this is Aaron. Anyway, I wanted to talk about complaining. Humans complaining about the way life is and how it is back at home, work, school, and relationships. Complaining about everything that goes on, pretty much. Well, basically, I kind of thought this was important because what I believe is that there's not really enough complaining going around. I kind of believe that there's a lot of complaining, amongst friends and maybe family. But I mean more like public complaining. Like you're telling a lot of people, maybe you're recording yourself and putting yourself out there, letting people know what's going on here. Making videos, whatever the case may be. To be quite honest, unless I haven't been looking sharply enough, I have not seen hardly anyone ever do that. It's been rare that I would see a person put a video out on what the fuck's happening and the shitty things that go on. Yet when I walk the streets, I see enough people that hate the way things are and complain about it, just only amongst themselves though. Whether it's, hearing them out loud and I can hear them from a distance, or, someone talking on the phone, or anything like that, or maybe even through music, things like that. And even shows, and heck, even comedy, you can always receive a message that lets you know life is shitty in the real world. So we see enough of these messages, but we don't hear enough speeches. We don't hear enough people getting up to kind of say the details and why they hate things this way and what they believe should be going on here. And I believe that should be happening. We should be having everybody do that. The reason is because this world won't change if people who want the world to change don't have the power to change it. Yet, if those who do have the power to change it don't know what's wrong, the world will never change. Because people who have the power to change the world will only do it how they believe it should be. And the way they believe it should be is wrong. It's wrong because it's wrong now. We don't like the way things are now, so they are wrong. So the way things have been made, we can officially say that the way things have been made from people who control this world, such as maybe your own country perhaps, sucks. It's bad. So we know that. We know that without a fact. When you grab a dog's arm, for example, I'm not trying to sound cruel here, but when you grab a dog's arm and you squeeze it or something tightly, you notice how it yelps, it makes a noise, right? So that tells the human being that this dog complaining about the pain that you're inflicting on it is bad and it does not like it. Thus you let go if you have a good heart. You see what I mean? But the dog is weaker than you. It's not going to be able to yank that arm out. It'll try its heart out because it hurts. But you can still overpower that dog. You have more power than it. It takes you to let go. You might say, well, the being didn't try hard enough, so it deserves to fail because it gave a failing effort. But in the end, it's kind of about heart, We can put a lot of effort into something, but it's going to take the stronger man, the bigger man who can actually change things around to have the heart and understand that this person has tried, but life is just that fucking hard on them, pretty much. It's just that difficult of a challenge to get out of this harsh situation, just like a dog trying to pull its arm away from you. So my point is the country, in my beliefs, controllers who control things, rules, and all this other stuff have made the country this way. Life didn't make it this way. We made buildings look the way they look. Humans have made that. Life did not make buildings. They created maybe humans or whatever, and humans made buildings, but we could make them different. We can make them look however we want to look. So I think it's safe to say that the way things are is not the right way of life. Of course, maybe there is no right or wrong way, unless it's hurting someone, I guess. But it's just our way, the way that we have currently made it. It doesn't mean humans, will humans, because we're humans, that we have to do life the way we do it now. No, we can do it in so many different ways. We just happen to choose a way that we feel is right. We feel is right, but it's clear that it's completely wrong. So here's where it comes down to people who are suffering in this lifestyle. If they have no power at all and they cannot change it their own selves, I guess technically they can, but usually the only way they can change it is by saying something. In my opinion, they have to complain. They gotta speak up out loud and let these motherfuckers know what you fucking hate. Let them hear you out. And hopefully one day someone will have the power, the heart. A person who has power will hopefully have the heart to change things around, or you can work together to take that bitch down, whatever the case may be. I don't know. Just random life situations, making things good, nevertheless, I guess. But to me, it all starts out with complaining. I'm not trying to say we're all babies, but in the end, babies only cry because of the fact that they're weaker than the human being. They can't even get up and get their own food. They can't change their own diapers. And they can't even comfort their own selves. So they cry for all those things to be answered. And guess what? It seems pretty right, doesn't it? It seems normal. I don't think that just because we're adults that it's wrong suddenly to ever do that. I do think if you can get up and make yourself a sandwich, you should get up and do that. You know, you have the strength to do so. But if there's something that you don't have the strength to, you should be able to, you know, like a baby, say something. Let someone know, okay, I need some fucking help. We can't imagine this, you know, try to think of this world as a place where we have to be individuals, where we have to be alone. Think about it. Again, let me bring up babies again. Thank God for them, because they show us a good example, you know, right in front of our stupid faces. Babies, are they alone? No. We don't sit here and say, walk on your own, bitch. We don't say, stop crying, or, you know, grab your own bottle, or any of that. Babies will die if we're not with them. Well, guess what? Have you ever thought that if we're not with each other, we'll suffer too? If we don't work together as a team, just like we work with our babies as a team, then we'll suffer just as well. It's just that, yes, when we're adults, we don't cry with real tears. But we still feel that same pain of being lonely. We do. That same pain as a baby feels when we don't have something that we really need. It's just the fact that we've gotten stronger, but our soft feelings, those feelings are still there no matter what, because we're human beings. And in my opinion, just like a baby, even though they can't do very much, I still call it a team. At least the one thing they can do is make a mother smile, make them proud, make them happy that that their existence is even there, their presence is in their arms. I think that's teamwork. And when you're an adult, you can do more than what a baby can do. I still think within that, it would be better to work together as teamwork. Now, as long as we look at the world, though, as individuals, you know, to be alone, everybody will pretty much say, don't complain, deal with it. You know, go through it, you gotta fight it, blah, blah, blah. But this is the kind of fight that we don't want to be fighting. I mean, why even fight anyways? Again, you know, a baby complains for a bottle and things like that, and it gets it. There's no fighting through that process. It's just human life. You know, you do what you can, something you can't do, you ask for help, and you get it. There's no fighting that needs to be going on with that. We don't need to fight to sing. No, we need to just sing. You gotta have the decency, maybe fight the laziness, I guess. But there should be no fighting and struggling just to actually try to learn how to sing. You know, or things like that as far as talent goes, or reaching your goals. To me, I just kind of think that the fight that we're going through is a little bit too hardcore, too harsh. It's a fight for life, you know, a fight for to make sure that you don't become homeless, you know, and things like that. And that is too on the edge. That's too on the edge. That's way too difficult, you know, of a lifestyle to handle, you know, it's just like it's like fighting 24/7, you know. So anyways, that's why I think it's pretty much more important to hear a citizen, you know, an average person, to hear them out, hear their complaints. Again, a lot of people will think, well, you know, they're being babies or nothing. No, they're not being babies, they're human. The feelings that babies have, If it's in them too, it's in you, it's in everyone. Unless you're that rare ass type that we don't even give a fuck about. You're that rare ass type, so you don't really count. I can't speak on a rare person who is like completely magical and that far different. You know, the 0.001% of a man on this planet. You don't count because you're like 0.001. You're the only person who's different. But I mean, for the average person, we all have those feelings that babies still hold. We just simply don't cry out. We still feel the pain of what we have to go through, of the agony of not having something that we truly need, and we need someone to help us get it. We all still want to have a massage too, just like a baby gets one. We all want to be, you know, to feel good. So I think it's important to hear a person's complaint. I don't think it's wrong to complain. We have a mouth, man. So I think there's a reason to communicate as far as reaching help. I mean, heck, come to think of it, if it is wrong to complain, for example, some people will think it's wrong. Some people will think, oh, you got to be strong, fight through it. If you're the person who think it's wrong to complain, you might as well not learn how to speak. You might as well not even be able to communicate. Because truthfully, in my opinion, the only way you could ever get anything out of life, like most things out of life in human life, is with another person. Even talking to another person, you're receiving help from them because you have someone to talk to. They helped you by helping you feel better with a conversation. Something as simple as that is actually putting energy into your body. It's putting, you know, better feelings in your body. Like when you have a relationship problem, for example. Then you get on the phone and you call one of your friends to speak to someone because you don't feel like being so alone, because you need someone to talk to about the bad things that have happened. They're helping you solve that problem here. They're helping you to actually to be able to let out your feelings. Without them, the other human being, you would not be able to do that. You'd only be able to do it amongst yourself, and that's not too fun. So, again, that's just a small, tiny example amongst thousands, millions, billions. If you were the type of person to say that you really have to just, you know, you have to just be strong and alone and not receive any true support from another person, and you have to just fight through it, no complaining, you might as well be a human being to never even learn how to speak at all, to never even communicate, because everything you do requires the help of another human being, period. Even getting in shape. You would never get in shape if there were no humans around. You'd never have a reason to. I mean, it sounds like common sense. Yeah, it's like the most obvious thing, but that's how you know that it's okay to complain. That's the whole point. We have to receive help from each other. We have to hear each other's complaints. We need to learn what's going on too. It's better to hear it from a human being, not just from some politic. Hell, politics are on a different level. We need to hear it from all sorts of different levels, not just one level. From a politics point of view, we need to hear it from a citizen's point of view. Isn't that what matters? The average human's point of view? The lifestyle that most people are living? We should hear it from all them. We should hear what's going on, what they believe. You pretty much only get information from humans anyways and other life forms. I mean, you could never learn, like, anything of what to do to help anyone if you never heard from anyone. You never heard from any life form, in my opinion. You could only do it if you had the heart to see the feelings, you know, the expressions on a person. But truthfully, to make things more accurate, we need to hear the details. We need to hear how they feel. What's inside their body? What's inside their mind? What have they seen in their past? What's bothering them right now? What do they believe that should happen? We know better than the president does. Again, the citizens of a country make up the country. You know, that's what the country is the majority of its people. That means the majority of its people knows better than the president. Everybody in that one place can tell you better of how life is and how it should be and why they hate it or like it than one man who's in charge. Because that one man in charge does not make up the entire country. The only thing that happens is whoever's in charge make the country how they believe it should be. But I guess if that makes sense. But basically what I'm saying is, you know, all of the people that live in one country, the majority, that's the lifestyle that they're all going through all together. So if they're all unsuccessful, to me the whole country sucks. The whole country is unsuccessful. They're all unhappy, the whole country is unhappy. So we need to know how people think and learn. We need to know what they see and how they feel about things. We have to know. We don't know shit about human beings a lot of times, man. And people don't even tell the truth about the things that they see, man. They don't even speak up. They do not speak up at all. People, they see some shit and they just don't care. They don't speak up about it. And we need to know. There are other countries that look at this, that look at America, for example, and they have their little idea of how it is, and they can be on the right track sometimes. But a lot of the times they get some things wrong, and I don't blame them because they don't get enough information. They don't hear from the actual people here, the average person here. They don't hear from them, and they need that. Everyone needs that. I kind of believe the way church is. You know how you have gatherings at church and all that, and you see a lot of people around you every Sunday, and this can be like majority of the people who live in one country. How amazing is that, right? And talking about things like religious related things, about God and everything, and establishing so many meetings and going through all this. And furthermore, that really amazes me is how committed people are to that. Now the one thing that bothers me is people are so committed into God and to Jesus and religion, but it's no wonder we can't change this world, is because it all counts on us anyways. That's what it all comes down to. If it counted on God, the world would be changed before we even were born. We would be born in a heavenly place. But we're not born in a heavenly place. We're born in a place that we truthfully are not okay with our environment. We see a lot of bad things going on. So I'm describing the meaning of the word shitty. We live in a shitty place. I'm not saying Earth, God's place is shitty, but the rules and laws, the humanity here is shitty. So if that's the case, God hasn't, we can all agree that he hasn't changed anything as far as at least dramatic changes to make this world a better place. If it's going to happen slowly, then, it's safe for me to say that I might as well kill myself now, because apparently if we lived 1,000 years and 2,000 years and blah, 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 full of shit, it must not be changing anytime soon. I would rather not want to wait for anybody to change this world. A person, anybody. So I would probably rather kill myself, because I know I'm going to be living like shit for the rest of my life. Everybody's going to be living like shit for the rest of their life, and yet, unless you're that rare type of person who finally had a miracle or whatever, But I'm talking about the average person. The average person is going to be living a shitty life for their whole lifetime. The countries don't change anytime soon at all. Nothing changes. So basically my point is that changes only happen based off of humans. I'm not saying that God doesn't do anything. I'm just saying that if he was doing something to change the world, being as powerful as he is, we would be born in a heavenly lifestyle. We wouldn't be seeing inappropriate shit on TV or whatever the case. Whatever God is about, we wouldn't be seeing the bad. Nevertheless, sins, or I don't know. So my point is it must take us. Fully, 100%. It must be us. We must have to be the ones to get up and make a change in order to change this world around. It must not count on a miracle or, such a superhuman being, in a heavenly world. Because in the end, it only seems to change as we get up and change a law or a rule. That's the only time the world changes. So it must take us. And my point is, it's no wonder this world will remain this way for a while, because even while we do, go to church and worship God and all this religious stuff, sadly, we forget about humanity, and we never stick with each other. We never stick with other humans and say, hey, we humans should have a gathering, Just imagine, think about it. The way we're so committed to church every Sunday, and sometimes Wednesday, some people go on Wednesday. Imagine if we were going there to talk about this world. To talk about each other, humans, and how we live our lifestyle, what we hate and dislike. Speeches. Complaints. Imagine if we had gatherings just like that every Sunday. If we could have gatherings like that every Sunday, and we spoke about, complaining about, the way the country is, the way the world is, and what we see, all together, with all those people being in one area like that on every Sunday or something like that, I would find it hard to believe that this world would not be different by now. I think we would live in a very, very stable world because so many people would finally let their beliefs out. Teenagers, not just fucking old-ass adults. No offense, I'm sorry. I'm tired of hearing from old-ass adults like as if they're the only important people in the world. Teenagers have a mouth. Little kids have a fucking mouth. Babies have a mouth, and you answer to their cries. Their cries are pretty simple, too. Because you know damn well they'll die if you don't. But teenagers, since they're stronger, you know, they won't die instantly. I guess some people blow them off and say, shut up. But no, they have a mouth. They deserve to speak. We need to know what's going on in the teenage world. We need to know what's going on in everybody's world. 5-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 3-year-olds, you know, 80-year-olds, 90, people who are half dead. Everyone. Gays, straights. We need to hear from everyone. And talk about all kinds of specific things. You know, orientation, occupation, and region, and even race too. That's important too. A lot of people are afraid to mention race. They don't want to say nothing about it, but shit's going on dealing with race. So why the fuck you want to keep silent, man? Let's talk about it. And hold your fucking balls too. Don't get fucking mad when a person says black. Shut your fucking mouth. Grow balls, man. It's not that big of a deal. We need to hear this shit. It's important. You can't get mad when you hear simple shit like black, Negro, you know? Shit. Or even white, Asian, or any of this other stuff. All these races. It's just I've been seeing that people get so angry or so uptight when they hear simple stuff. But you may need to hear someone's words to learn something. You'll never learn it if you don't give it a chance. If you're too close to your own straight people, you don't give a fuck about gays, you'll never understand gays. Because what if you are wrong? Even as a Christian, what if you're wrong then? What if gays actually have a right to be who they are, and they're nicer? I notice gays are a lot nicer people than straights are. And gays need to understand straights too, because they're too sexual. They bring up this sexual shit too fucking much. They do it with me all the time, you know, whenever I'm online chatting with people. It happens. Everybody's got a problem. But truthfully, I think gays are still better people than straights. I have to say, I have to admit that, because I mean, I gave them a chance. I looked at them. I studied the way they are, the way they act. I mean, people will never understand anyone if we don't hear from them. We need to be able to do that. And it's just sad that we can't have gatherings related. You know, it's nice to have gatherings related to God and religion. That's cool, because it does make people better. I've noticed people do seem a lot happier at church. Cool. But when they go back at home, they're a bunch of shit. They're not as happy anymore. Just when they reach church. That's why I kind of think it would be so awesome if we could mix the citizens, humanity, and the animals and everything that were all around us within these gatherings on Sundays or any day, and had public speeches or whatever. I'm pretty sure they got a place like that somewhere in this fuck-ass universe, maybe in space or on Mars. But I mean everywhere on Earth, man. Everywhere there should be a place like this. Churches everywhere. So we should have a place like this everywhere where you can have gatherings, and all the citizens come here because they're so committed to make life better. When you go to church, you're committed to make life better for you. You're committed to God, and you put your trust in God to do better for you. Why not have a place where we could either have its own area or mix it in with church or something, where we go to this place again with that same commitment and trust in ourselves, trust in humanity to help change our lives. So that's pretty much that's all I believe. When it comes to complaining, I don't think complaining is bad. I think it's natural. Besides, you all do it anyway. You do it inevitably. You do it in your mind. You do it with your feelings, your pain. If I scratch my arm real hard until I bleed, even if I'm not saying anything, the blood running out is complaining. It's complaining to me like, look at me, bitch, there's blood. Stop. It's complaining. Everything is. It's telling you, please stop. Whatever this is, the bad that's going on, it's trying to talk to you. We need to hear these complaints. Pain screams, that's complaining. Of course, not technically, but it's basically complaining. It's what words do. When words come out as complaining, that's exactly like the pain that you feel. It's still telling something. telling what is wrong with what's being hurt, what's being harmed. It's the same thing. So, we need to hear everyone. And I'm just not convinced that we live in that type of world right now where we can hear everyone. I don't see people on YouTube, I don't see people on videos or anything saying anything. You know, maybe it's hard to get views, because I know I don't have any views right now, so I guess it's hard to get seen or something, but I just kind of think it would help. I still don't think it's enough. I think at least amongst each other's family there should be some, you know, some speeches, some notifications or something, people letting everybody know and coming into an agreement. At the very most, like the individual getting on a camera or on a recording or anything and putting it out there, man, that this world is shitty and I'm tired of it, and you know there's so much wrong and blah blah blah, and details. So yeah, I don't think people understand as fully as they should, because they just don't hear from them. They don't hear from us peasants or even from any other citizen at all. I'd like to hear a rich person complain too. I don't think rich people are truly as happy as they deserve to be as being rich. No, I don't think so. You're hearing this from a guy who's kind of a peasant. You know, I don't live in a rich home at all. I don't live even in a good home whatsoever. I live in an awful neighborhood. But I'm literally telling you, I have studied rich people. I look deeply at them. Of course, I do that all the time. I have this heart where I just put myself in their shoes, and I do that with everything around. I even do it with fucking objects. I can't help it. This is why I don't smash flies. But anyways, I do that, and I know rich people are not doing good, as good as they think. Some are, I think so, yeah. I think they're doing better, maybe, but I just don't see the full happiness there like it should be. At least especially the workaholics. I mean, when you say the word workaholic, you know you don't want to be that. So you know all workaholics are going through shit, no matter how much money they make. I don't think it's ever fun to always work. So there's always something to understand, and we're missing something. We're missing something. We're missing the word of another human. So let's stick together. Let's follow each other. Let's depend on each other. If you're Christian, you're religious, let's depend on God. Let's do that. But know that God wants you to also depend on your brethren and your sister too. So let's depend on each other also at the same time. If we want to grab God's hand, let's also grab a human's hand at the same time. But for real this time, meaning we put trust in each other to make a change, a proper change on this planet. If you want my advice, I'd say at the very least, trust in God to lead you in the right direction, to make the right choice. But be a human being and stay next to another human being. Help them out and trust in them to help you out physically. Because that's really, to me, that's really the only way we'll have a change. I don't lift my hand because a God lifted my hand. I lift my hand because of my own fucking will, my own human strength did it. So when I lift my hand to help another person, it was my heart that did that. You can say it's God or maybe a miracle, and it could be. I'm open to believe it, but my fucking heart did that. If my heart didn't do it, he would not have gotten anything from me. No one gets anything from anyone if no one helps anyone. And you have to have the heart to do that. God doesn't put that one in you. You have to have that. So, thanks for watching, and I guess that's all I have to say. See ya. Thank you.